So for this map view, so first you have to add the map kit. So later we would like to display some certain locations on a map view. So in order to display a location on map view, so we need one location pointer. So for that we added a framework called core location framework. So our application is uh, having two frameworks, one is map kit and one is core location. So then we needs to display a map view. So in order to display a map view, so the map kit provides a API class that is called mkMapView. So this mkMapView class will be used to present a map view on any of the user interface. So as per the principle, first define your object with the specific origin and width and height. Later you can use a property called map type. The map type can be three types, either it can be standard, or it can be satellite, or it can be hybrid. So you can display the map in three visible ways. It's like in three types, so standard and visual and like a satellite and hybrid. So specify the map type. Later we added the map view on a map view object and self view. So if you want to show your user location, so you can use a method called show user location on map view. So it will display the user location of the map. So by default the user location will be your California, because the by default the user location is represents the Apple location. So this is the way of displaying a map view on any of the view object. So later, so the map view itself is having one of the protocol that is called map view delegate. So I want to notify, so when there is a location is defined on a map view. If there is a location is or a region you would like to capture on a map view, then you define your delegation notification methods. We have to override it. So, and this is our core location 2D coordinate 2D core location coordinate 2D. First you have to define your location coordinate, so which contains the specific location longitude and latitude values. So with the longitude and latitude values I created a location coordinate. So this location coordinate needs to be presented on your map view. So in order to do that, define the location. After that, I added that location point as an annotation to map view. So when there is a view is needs to be displayed on a map view, there are the two views we can display on map view. One is a annotation, the second one is a place mark. So annotation and place mark, like we can specify two things. So the first option is like to define your coordinate. So the coordinate is defined, so declared. Now I would like to display an annotation. Annotation in the sense this one, either pin or any image. So image will call it like a place mark. Pin we will call it like a annotation, pin annotation. Either pin annotation or place mark annotation we can display. So this is my location coordinate 2D object created. So later I defined a mk annotation. So this is one of the subclass which I created. So this mk annotation is a subclass of mk annotation. So this protocol is inherited for one of the subclass which you would like to use to display a pin annotation. So this is one of the method which I created. So this method is taking a coordinate and title and subtitle. So later, once we had a coordinate and also these properties like coordinate or title or subtitle, these three properties are mandatory for mk annotation. So this mk annotation protocol is having certain properties like title and subtitle. Just override those title and subtitle methods. Here just you can see return title and subtitle and coordinate. So these three methods are mandatory. These three set properties needs to be overridden for any MK annotation protocol subview. So then only you can display a pin annotation on map view. So that is the mandatory one. So this is the method which I created. So I'm passing what are the coordinate which I want to display. So if the user clicked on the coordinate, what should be the title and what should be the subtitle. So something like I make one configuration method. So later I'm getting an object from the superclass. If the object is allocated, then I'm assigning location coordinate, title to title, and subtitle to subtitle. So these methods we can use that like a setter and getter methods. Now, so let's come to this. So what we did, just we created a coordinate 2D, later created a pin annotation, and like we created 4 annotation objects. One annotation object is Jammu location, Delhi location, Purtuturu, Hyderabad. There are the 4 locations we created. So after that, we added all 4 location objects like annotation objects in an array, and we passed to add annotation method of mapView. So when we do this, if this annotation coordinate region is having a valid latitude and longitude, so those values will be displayed on the map. So in order to display these annotations on a map view, so we needs to override one of the protocol method called view for annotation. This is the one kind of functionality which similar to like you have seen in a table view, sulfur road and XPath. Similarly here it is also map view if you want to display any view. So this is the method we have to override. So when I added 4 annotations, so this method will be called 4 times. So each time it will return you one annotation, so which is there in that array. So for first annotation, I'm checking that annotation title is Jammu or not. If Jammu, I'm displaying one view on map view. If not Jammu, so I'm displaying one pin annotation. So here you can see there is one image called MK annotation view. There are 3 pins is called MK pin annotation view. So the object which I created, if the title is Jammu, which is there in that MK annotation. So I'm checking that if the title is Jammu, then I'm creating a MK annotation view. So for that MK annotation view, I'm adding a image. So this is MK annotation view. I'm displaying that as a place mark. So or else if the annotation is not Jammu, so I'm creating one MK pin annotation for the specific coordinate 2D, and later I'm adding a button on it. Just I'm giving the button action. I'm using like a right show callout accessory view and animates drops. Pin color I'm giving a color red. Can show callout S. If you use this can show callout S, if the property is yes, if the user selected any pin, so he can able to see one pop-up. So this pop-up is visible only the show callout property is S. If this property S, then only the user can see a drop down when a pin is clicked. So this drop down visible or invisible is depends on this property. If this property is yes, then we can see that pop up. Otherwise, we can't see that pop up even if the user clicked on this specific pin annotation. So this method will take care about displaying the pins or place mark annotation on a map view. So this will design. So we needs to do the 4 things. First, you have to configure the map view object. Later, if you want to display any annotation, just create a MK annotation subclass. And I've created 4 MK annotations objects. So you have to add all these objects as the annotations for map view. So then so this map view is configured with annotations. Now we have to display that. In order to display an annotation, so we needs to override view for annotation method. So view for annotation method is one of the sub method of one of the method of this MK map view delegate protocol. So we delegated that to current object, and we override this method so that we can able to see these things on map view. Now we can see that. So by default it's showing that United States California is somewhere, we can see that. So if I want to make sure one region, specific region, you can set a region option. So now you can see that map view set region. So we specified one region, so your map will be zoomed to that specific region. So we provided that region is related to here in Hyderabad. So the Hyderabad is zoomed and out of the whole map, whole world map, the Hyderabad is got zoomed. Just because we set the region which you want to be zoomed. So this is your span. The span will decide about whether is it to be closer look or longer look. So inner zoom or outer zoom. So that will be decided with your span values. So this is the way like we can able to. So in this way we can use the annotations or place marks display on a map view. Just try once so that we can able to see. Let's come to toolbar. So toolbar is like one of the yesterday I've explained you that navigation bar can have a toolbar. I showed you that. Now you can see this is your bar. So for this bar I would like to display two buttons. This is one button action. This is one button, another button action. So this is where you can able to do that. So this you can see one of the gesture. You might have seen zooming how to zoom. So this is a pinch gesture. If you apply a pinch gesture, just we can able to scale it. How much we want, how much the user is scaled, and based on that. So this red view is one of the UI view. So I created one of the view and I added a pinch gesture for this view as a add gesture. So this view is done like add gesture as a pinch. So yesterday I explained you about a tap gesture. Here we can see that how to create a pinch gesture. You can add a pinching gesture for any of the UI view, and later I created a toolbar. So toolbar with frame. You can see that how a toolbar looks. So this is toolbar. So the background color you can see in a gray color. So that is your toolbar. On top of the toolbar I added two bar buttons. One is added to left, one is added to right. So between there is a gap. So this gap is also called one bar button. Then there are three bar buttons are added. If you see item 1 is titled with your bar button item style bordered and the title is send. So we can see that with the title send, and I added another bar button item that is called flexible space. So in the UI toolbar, I created one bar button item with send button, one space button. The third one is camera button. There are three buttons I created, and so these three buttons I added in an array. So I passed this array as a items for the toolbar. When a toolbar object is having a set items array, so whatever the items are presented in that array, all those bar button items are displayed as per that array on the toolbar. So toolbar are having three buttons. One is image button, and next one is like a flexible space, and third one is a send button. So when I use flexible space, it will extend that gap. It will take complete gap except the buttons which are there after the flexible button. So this after this there is only one button, so this button is occupied some space. So before that it's occupied the other space. If there is another button, then we can use that button as well to display that. So add arrays and add to subview. So this is like a pinching gesture. So pinch gesture, when I do that, I capturing the scaling. So how much the user is doing. Later I'm applying to transform. I've already explained you how the transform property works for animations. So we are able to see that how it is animated. So this is the way like you can use your toolbars and gestures on of the on UI views. You can apply gestures, and toolbar you can utilize to add a bar buttons, and you can use a bar button item to create any bar button and needs to be added to any bars, either toolbar, tab bar, navigation bar. So yesterday I explained about how to set an icon, so that you can set an icon, and I told you that these are the two. One is like a project and the second one is the targets. If you select that, this project is having one project icon and one target icon. So here you can see there are different things: general, capabilities, resource tags, info, build settings, build phases, and build rules. These are all configurations are required for from the Xcode to application in order to execute it. So if the general target general, we can see that what is the identifier of the application, which version it is, what is the build, and which team is building it, for which device it is targeted for, and so whether is the application is universal app or only for specific to device, and we can set all the configurations. So whether this application supports orientations, if supports, how many orientation it supports, whether this application is having a status bar, if the status bar is having, so what about the status bar color, and is it having any launch images or icons, so that you can set your launch image or icons. So any binaries needs to be embedded, or is used any other frameworks, you can add it the frameworks as well. So you can get all this, you can set and get all the information from the targets general. So capabilities, in the sense this application using what many capabilities, whether is it supports maps. Yes, it supports maps. If it is supports maps, so what features it is using, the link mapkit.framework, so the mapkit will be added. So you see that I opened enable, so I got that. So if I disable, so it's got deleted. So you can use this. So when you do that, you can able to see. So what is the possibilities you would like to use from the map kit? So from the Apple map kit, there are different things. So you can use that distance and identifying the distance between 2 points, and as well as getting the user location and location updates. You can use it. So routing how you want. So do you want to get a route map? Just you can apply the route map. What are the route maps you want? So like how it works in Google Maps, similarly you can use this maps also. So what are the features you want to apply for your application, just you can enable from the capabilities. So you can keychain, surrender app, or associated app groups. So this app groups in the sense allows to allows access to group container that are shared among multiple related apps and allows certain additional inter-process communication between the apps. For example, you want to make one inter-process communication between any applications, so you need to create a app groups. App groups is one kind of entitlements. So so it's simple, like it's you can create one app group. So now you can see that there is an app group is entitlements. Here you need to add what are the apps you want to add. So it's create one group. We can configure how a app group works for different applications data sharing. If you want your application participate in inter-app communication, then we can use it. If you don't want, just make it delete. Whether this application supports HomeKit or data protection, this is like adding data protection to your apps. Health kit, do you want to use a health kit, or do you want to use a wireless accessory configurations? Either your application supports background modes or not. If you want to give a support to background modes, what is required? You want to be in location updates in background or voice over like Skype kind of calls, or you want to news application downloads or external communication, Bluetooth communication, or background data fetching or remote notifications. So which feature you want, then you have to enable this. So these are all different features which you apply for your applications. Then we need to use this. If you want a keychain storage, enable that, you will get a keychain storage. Here you can see that. So it's added some different groups. If you want to add a keychain group, then you can add it keychain groups. So all the features, like whatever you want to add, then you can apply all the features. If you want to go with iCloud, then if you want to give an iCloud access, then you can add an iCloud as well. Either how you want to use iCloud. So all the things will be added to your entitlements. So these are the certain features you can see now. Is there any VPN communication? If you want, you can go with the VPN communication. Like, you can see the info.plist file. Here you can see that what's the information this application is providing and what this application is all about. You can see your bundle identifier name and version number and what is the initial storyboard which the application is using. So what OS type it is supporting. You can provide all the things. And the target, you can apply the build settings. So these build settings will comes into the place when we want to deploy this application to any of the devices or app store. Here we will use our developer name. Here we have seen a different names. So these names are nothing but certificate names. These people are certified to deploy the application to devices. So these are all the users are having a $99 account. If you have $99 account, then we can use this feature. So once you use this feature, then only you can run this application to device. If you connect your device, select the device. Now as of now there is no device was connected. If there is a device is got connected, then we can select that device and we can use this application to run on that specific device. So in that scenarios, you needs to select your certified person name here, and after that there is a provisioning profile, just keep it automatic. And if you have a $99 account, then we can do that. So these things, code signing identity, code sign section will be used when your application is needs to be moved for device. So this feature like the code sign properties needs to be set for the project build settings and target build settings. In both places we have to select that certified username, and you have to select a provisioning profile which we needs to create from your $99 account. So if your Apple developer account is $99, then we can create a provisioning certificate and as well as normal certificate to run the application into device or to upload an application to App Store. So in that scenarios we will use this. Build phases will be used to link any libraries to your targets. So the libraries which used in your application. So the rules, you no need to change anything, just keep it as it is, whatever it generated. If you want to change, we always change like build setting, code signing names. So rest of the areas we most probably keep it as it is. So until unless if your application is dealing with any static library creation, then we will change. Otherwise, then we'll keep it in normal things. This is about like your map kit and toolbar and UI kit and previously as I said is app service and all. So still we have more concepts, but those concepts that like we can look at later. So those concepts, other concepts we have more. Then we'll go for shift. So before that, we'll see a localization. So localization in the sense there is a text needs to be displayed in different styles. Like for example, let's take a label. hello, keep it center. Just created a label. So now I want to create a localization for this. Just create now. For this, add a new file from the resources, string files, strings, just add a strings. So you want to add a strings, just strings. Create a name with localizable dot strings, not localization. Localizable dot strings. The name should be specific. So created localizable string. So this is like for different languages. If you want to use string files, then you can use the string files. Let's add one more language for this. Then select your project, targets, gender, go for it, or else project, basic, go to info, and you have a localization here. Select it. I want to add a French. Just add it. If you want to apply for all, just keep that as a base. Don't change. French, German, Chinese. So these are 3 or 4 languages which is added. Now I want to convert this file to for multi-language. If you can see that my storyboard is added for 4 files. Launch screen strings, storyboard. Now I want to convert this to localization. Come to this, you can see a localize button. Just keep it base, it will apply for all. Now or else add, you can add English, French, German, whatever you want, you can add all the languages. Now you can see the different languages, French and English. Just now keep it. Hello. Keep it something like that to understand in normal way. French, I don't know. Just keep it something. German. Now apply this. Now this hello is matched based on that here key. Let's go to this, go for preview. No localized content. Manual. Now run the application. Somewhere it's coming in settlements. Go to home, settings, gender, accessibility, language and region, language, French, done, French. Now you have seen the French language related string, because what we added the French, we added something for hello is replaced with this string, so you received that. And before that If you want to display one image, you can display that image as well. Let's keep on image view. You can change the language which you want for the image as well. Now you change here. Now to change in French, I would like to use this. Now you can see what language. Now keep this image language based. Now you can see that image in French it is came to this one. So this is the string and this is the one. Similarly storyboard base. Select the storyboard, come to here. So this is already localized. Go to here and change the language preference. Now the language setting was changed. So then now run. Now you can see that text is hello and image is for specific to English what you have defined. So this is the way like you can make your application is localizable for global as a global app for all the languages. If you want to do something, so you can do that. For example, new file. Hmm. Change the string files to in different way. This is rich text RTF file. Just create. Change this name. RTF to HTML. Now this is my HTML. So this is my HTML. If you want to make this file a localization, you can create a localized file for different languages. So when I apply this language file at anywhere, so this will works as it is. Let's create a web. Create a web view. This is my web view. Come to this. Mm, mm, Welcome to English HTML. Now you can see here. Mm, Welcome to French HTML. You can see the text. So this is the way like you can use any file you can localize. So the file will be used with the help of ns localized string, or else it will be taken by default. Based on that, it will select that file. If you see, whenever we load this file, so it is able to identify that file based on your settings. So this is the way like localizing your application to support for multiple languages. Okay, so this is about localizing your application and creating the other things. Now we'll take some